Aloha. Greg Pentecost here with Getting to Escrow, where we help real estate agents master their time, their income, and their prosperity. And recently, the world being what it is, I've been online and Zoom calling and everything else and having a conversation with somebody from a different country, and they're like, "What is escrow?" Well, if you're from a place like 40% of the United States, you don't know what escrow is because you have, if you're in the United States, you have lawyer states where lawyers handle real estate transactions, or in Canada or other parts of the world, there are other ways of handling a transaction. So today we'll answer, what is escrow? How does it work? So the simplest way is escrow. If you look it up on Google, it says a bond, a deed, or other document held in or kept in custody of a third party and taking effect only when specified condition has been fulfilled. Well, what does that mean and how does it work in a real estate transaction? This actually is pretty simple. What we do is we hire a neutral third party. They're not going to act solely on behalf of the seller nor solely on behalf of the buyer. They're going to act as a third party. And what they do is we go ahead and we deposit everything with them. We give them the contract, we give them the monies, and then they look at the contract and they work with the title company and they work with the different people, people and companies who are involved with the transaction. And they go ahead and they make sure that all the different things that are in the contract are met. Once they're met, the money, and that's also where all the monies go. And that's kind of a fun thing because when you're in an escrow state, I live in Hawaii, and Hawaii is known as a dry state when it comes to monies and what that means is that in some places you can go in, sign the paperwork that morning, and then the transaction happens that day. So basically, the ink is still wet on the contract. Hasn't necessarily been recorded, nor has the seller received their funds. Well, Hawaii is considered what's known as a dry state. What that means is that it's dry. The ink on the paperwork is dry. It means that literally it's like the money has exchanged hands and the deed has been recorded in your name. And then you get the keys. And the escrow company is the one who handles all of that. They look at the contract, they look at what the buyer and seller have agreed to, they help. They don't do a whole lot in making sure that everything's lined up, but they do. They go ahead and their job is just to check the boxes. If the boxes are not checked, they're not going to follow up and make sure that they do, but they will let the parties know that that is something that they want to address and how would they like to address that. Then once everything is agreed upon and the buyer and seller go in to have a signing and sign all of that, they sign off stating that all of the conditions have been met. And then we have a kind of a long process here in Hawaii because a lot of funding previously has come from the mainland. And so we might sign several days before the actual closing, which is fine. It's part of the process here. But we sign at escrow. Typically it's with escrow in their office, and they're the ones who hold everything. All the loan proceeds actually get delivered to escrow. They're the ones who work with the title company, and they take when you sign the deeds and you sign it over exchange, they're the ones who will make sure that it gets sent down and all the paperwork is processed down for recordation. And what they'll do is they'll hold on to the money, they'll hold on to the title, and once the title gets recorded, they will go ahead and put the money in the seller's account, or however the seller has decided they would like to be in receipt of that. And so escrow is the simplest way. They are a neutral third party who will, to ensure effectively everything is pretty fair in the transaction. Now, the name Getting to Escrow. What does that mean? Well, for a real estate agent, that's kind of the goal. That's really where the transaction begins. You'll go through everything, you'll find your leads, you will work with them to buy or sell, take them through the process. And then once you have a ratified contract, and that's the best part, when the buyer and seller have agreed on all the details, they are now ready to move into what we call, for the 60% of the nation who uses escrow in their states, we move into, we call it the escrow period. And so we say we are now in escrow. And once you're in escrow, the docs, the monies and everything else we now deliver that to escrow. And at that point in time, we have a signed contract and everybody is on the team to help make things happen. Until then, as a real estate agent, though, kind of on your own. And I don't want to say you are, kind of are. And it depends on what company you're working for and so on. So another way of saying getting to escrow might be getting to contract or signed contract. However, being that I grew up in California, I live in Hawaii, both of these are escrow states. I have attempted to do transactions or done transactions in lawyer states. Not a problem. I've done transactions in other escrow states. So, but it's not the states where I've done transactions that are in lawyer states have not been where I've done the majority of my transactions. It's actually been a very small percentage. So escrow is kind of a natural thing for me. So when naming the title of the program, Getting to Escrow, because for 60% of the states, now literally 30 states versus 20 who are what are known as lawyer states, because the lawyers handle everything. 60% of the states are what are known as escrow states. And that's what I'm most familiar with. So that's where the name comes up. That's where the name comes from. That's what escrow is, and that is their function. If you like learning about real estate, you are a new agent or a returning agent, and you're looking forward to a way so that ways so that you can master your time, your income, and your prosperity, then do me a favor. Join the Getting to Escrow Facebook group. Like this video, share it, subscribe, whatever works for you. We'd love to continue helping you with your real estate business. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Mahalo.